Good morning. Happy Saturday. Thank you for joining me here. It's 10 o'clock on a Saturday. I'm super excited today because we're raising money for Fuel the Fight New York. If anybody is here from the team, thank you so much for everything you do. I'm super appreciative of you allowing me to even be a part of this. So thank you for everybody who have donated. I put a link also in my stories if anybody wants to donate afterwards, and every dollar counts. It's supporting our New York restaurants and our healthcare workers and everybody who is out there, helping out. Anybody new? We're going to be using a prop today. So this ball is 9 inches. It's blown up about 80% or so. If you don't have a ball, you can grab onto a firm pillow. That works. Anything that you kind of can have like a little bit of give. You can also do it without a prop, so no worries if you don't have a prop yet. I'll cue a bunch of different things so that you can, be able to, still do it. And I'm drinking water today because last time it's been a lot of cake all week with my kids' birthdays. So I'm trying to drink some water instead of some coffee right now. I hope everybody's feeling great, ready to move. I'm ready to move. Anybody have any quick questions? I'm trying to go through some things. Hip flexor stuff. I know a lot of people are like trying to figure out how to take it out of your hip flexors. This is one place that will come. I mean, in everyday life, we're constantly working our hip flexors, walking. So the more you get connected with your core and the more you get connected kind of like through the length and being able to kind of move your legs in different ways, that will ease up a little bit. So just keep trying. I'll cue it throughout the whole session too. So we'll try to tap into that. Anything else? Are we just ready to go? Deal with some lower back pain. Okay, also, yes, if you're having lower back pain actually right now, this will be the greatest thing is to kind of work through some of this movement. If you're having any lower back pain, during class, what I want you to do is add like a very tiny little tuck. I work in a neutral pelvis, which is a really straight spine, but if you're finding that your lower back is hurting, tuck very slightly. So also cue that just to remind. Anything to avoid while pregnant? Oh yeah, if I have anybody pregnant here, hi, welcome. Yes, I would say the full roll downs you don't want to do. It kind of depends on where you're at in your pregnancy. Making sure that you're still really connected into the core. I wouldn't say too many like bridges so that your hips are too high. I mean, you can do it just for a little bit, but try not to like hold that position for too long. Yeah, I'll cue through it. I'm going to try to just add as many cues as possible just for, kind of everybody who's joining. We're going to start without a ball. So if anybody that doesn't have a prop, don't worry about it. If you do have your prop, keep it handy nearby. Pillow, a sweatshirt, anything that can kind of add a little squeeze there. Let's take a wide stance here. Okay, so we're going to start by just grounding your feet into the ground. Start to lift up through the pelvic floor. You're going to reach your hands all the way up to the ceiling and then drop your hands down by your sides. We're just going to start to warm up the body, lifting it all the way up and dropping it down. So you're trying to guide your movement through your core. Try to connect there. Drop it down. And then you're going to take your hands out to the side, just press them in towards your body, and then start to reach them in front of your body here. So you're going to press your arms back, open up your chest, reaching your hands forward. So you're pressing it back here. This is a really good way to see if you're gripping in the hip flexors also compared to your abdominals. So try to really feel like you're lengthening up off the ground. Start to bend your knees. Your hips are going to pull back, pressing your arms back so you're opening up your chest. So you're reaching your hands back. Your weight is in your heels. You're going to lift up here, reaching it out. So we're going to be flowing through some of these movements in the beginning. So really just allow yourself to kind of find your tempo. If mine is a little bit too fast, you can take yours a little bit slower. If you want to quicken it a little bit more, that's fine too. Try to keep really focusing on core. And one more. And reaching the hands forward, you're going to lift up through the chest, start to bend your knees again, pulling your weight backwards, pressing it up, pulling in the core, and back. Lift, and back. Let's do 2 more. So you're doing a little bit, not so much of a squat, you're kind of pulling your hips back over your heels, and 1 more. And then you're going to hold here, start to take your arms backwards, start to do tiny pulses up with your hands. So you're thinking your arms are one piece, you're pulling your abdominals in, start to build up some of that heat in your body. If you can see my toes, I'm like very, very light on my toes. The weight is in my heels, trying to connect into the glutes. Hold your hands up, start to bend the elbows, and then press it back. So you're bending, press it back. So checking with your neck. If anybody's been having any neck issues, I mentioned this to somebody, it might be from turning and looking at a screen. So try to really like get the movement. Once you've got the movement, try to find your gaze kind of in line with your body so your neck can kind of, keep straight. 2 more. And then 1 more. Pressing your arms back. You're going to lift all the way up through here. Bend your right knee, reach your hands forward. So we're stretching out of that left hip and lift it up. This beginning warm-up has quickly become one of my favorites, clearly. We'll add on to it. We're going to kind of have the same type of movement that we've been working on, but we're going to add some different arm moves. Keep the abdominals in. Pressing it back. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. You're going to hold here, take your arms back, and then forward. So now your weight is still over your right heel, connecting into your right glute, keeping the abdominals in, really lengthening out of that left leg. Hands reach up through here, and now you're going to take your right hand back. You're going to open up your chest to the right, dip it down and lift. So now we're going to start to connect kind of in that twisting motion in your body. Belly button up, you're rotating to the right, back to center. Rotating and back. If you can feel your obliques already connecting here. Whew, 2 more. Lift. And so reminder that because we don't do any weights, we're using a lot of body weight here. Press your arms all the way up. Let's go right into the other side. I want you to feel like you're moving very intentionally through space. So your arms aren't just moving as if they're in air. It's like some sort of resistance as you reach up. Press it. Really good. And up. Let's do 2 more. Up. 1 more. And then you're going to hold it here. Shift your weight back a little bit more onto your heel. Just start to take your arms back through here. Reach them forward. Let's do 1 more. Reach it forward. Now you're going to take your left arm. You're going to swoop it back, twisting over to the left. Reach it back to center. You're swooping it back, so it's kind of reaching down to the floor and up. Dropping your shoulders. Connecting into the core, really lengthening out of that right leg. Let's do 3 more. And 2 more. And last one. Then you're going to go forward. We're going to lift all the way up through here. You're going to round the body forward as you bend your knees. Open up your chest, stack your upper body all the way up tall. So you're going to round forward, start to bend your knees, drop down to the floor, lift it all the way up, circle it around. Let's do 1 more. Round it forward, lift all the way up, circle it around. Amazing. Okay, grab your prop. We're dropping down to your knees. Give the ball a squeeze in between your inner thighs and then flatten your feet. Once you feel like you're lifting up through the pelvic floor here, give the ball a squeeze. Reaching your hands forward, taking your arms backwards, and then forwards. So now what we're trying to do is connect in a little bit of a different way because you take out the leg aspect of it and now it's more inner thighs, pelvic floor. Start to hinge at the hip and then press your arms back so you're lifting. So it's like glutes pulling you backwards, your abdominals are pulling back, lift it up. So we're keeping this fluid motion here and up. And then remind yourself that the ball here is there for a reason, or whatever prop you have. It's to really focus on the engagement of your inner thighs. Try to turn off the quads. And then up. 1 more, you're going to hold it here. Take your arms back. You're going to hold your hands up high, start to bend the elbows, press it back again. So you're bending, pressing it back. So now what you're going to try to do is focus on what's happening in your whole body rather than focusing on what's happening in your arms. So you're like, abdominals are in, hips are back, glutes are engaged. And yeah, my arms are working, but it's mostly about stabilizing your body in this position. And I'm not sitting all the way back onto my heels. 2 more. And then 1 more. Reach your hands back. Start to round the body as you reach your hands forward. You're going to open up the chest. If you feel like it's right for you, you can go in a little bit of an extension. Open it up. Rounding forward. And back. And let's do 1 more. And then back. We're going to round forward 1 more time, rounding it forward. And then you're going to make your way onto your hands. Your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders. You're going to curl your toes underneath, roll your shoulders back, start to hover your knees up. We're going to hold here, and then drop it down. Pull the abdominals and start to hover your knees up and hold, and then drop it down. So it's almost like I'm underneath you and like punching up in your stomach, and your stomach's like, whoa, and it's pulling you up off the ground. So it's not really your arms, it's like your stomach like, oh, pull in. But you're still trying to keep your spine flat. Pull it in. And drop it down. Let's do 1 more. Lift it up here and hold. We're going into a pike. So you're going to press through your arms. You're going to pull your chest to your legs as you keep a high heel. Roll through the spine and then hover your knees up off the ground and hold here. So you're lifting up into a pike, pressing through the upper body, roll through the spine, hover and hold. 3 more, lifting all the way up. Roll it down. Hover and hold. 2 more. Pressing it up, remind yourself you're squeezing the ball. Hover and hold. 1 more. Roll it down. Hover and hold here for a second. Do tiny squeezes on the ball. Tiny, tiny pulses in. Think shoulders are back. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Drop your knees down. Uncurl your toes. Go into a cat and cow. So you're rounding all the way up. Open up the chest. And then round up 1 more time. And then come back to center as you pull your shoulders back. Pulling the abdominals in, you're going to start to take your left hand out into a T. And then drop it down. Let's take your right hand out into a T. And drop it down. So keeping your abdominals in all the way out. Drop it down. So you're trying to keep your weight evenly in the center of your body. You're feeling your abdominals connect as your arms go out to the sides. So you're like reaching it out, pulling in the core. And let's go over to the right. Keep breathing here. Take your left hand out to the side. Now you're just going to squeeze it in towards your body and then reach it back out into a T. So you're squeezing your pinky into your side and then reaching it out. So check in with your body to make sure that your spine isn't arching here. Really keeping your abdominals engaged. Make sure you're connecting into your inner thighs again. And then back. 2 more. And back 1 more. All the way out to the side, you're going to fold that arm underneath. Start to bend your right elbow as you twist to the right. Open it up to the left, so you're opening up your chest. Bend it underneath. Your weight is still over your right arm. You're trying not to pull your weight too much over your hips. So keeping your weight forward, it's going to be just a tiny bend. You want to think abdominals here, your right shoulder stays back. 1 more. Bend it down. Pressing it all the way up. And then come back to center. Roll your shoulders back, abdominals stay in. Take your right arm out to the side. You're going to pull that pinky in toward your side into a T, and then take it back out to the side here. So one thing to think about your stabilizing arm too is make sure you're not locking into your joint. So you're trying not to hyperextend. We're still lifting in and up. Also reminding yourself that this is a full body exercise. So check in with your inner thighs, check in with your glutes, abdominals. 1 more. Out to the side, you're going to fold your right arm underneath, bend your left arm. You're going to open up to the right, open up your chest. Whew. Stiff today. Ready to kind of open up. And when you dip down, try not to arch your back. Think you're just kind of pulling the core in here, pressing it back. 2 more. And keep breathing deeply. 1 more. Woo. All the way up. reach your hands forward. You're going to sit back into child's pose for a second. Start to tuck your toes underneath. We're going into a full plank. Open up your chest here. Shoulders are back. You're going to start to bend your knees, press through your arms. You're pulling your hips backwards. Open up the chest, stretching out through the top of your head. Bending it back, pressing it out. So this is a very active movement. You're constantly moving. Even in this plank, you're not just holding, you're going reach, 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 extending further out of your core, all the way out. So it's constant energy shooting out of the top of your head, out of your heels. 2 more. All the way out. And 1 more. All the way out. And now you're going to bend your knees down to the floor. Start to lift your feet up and squeeze your heels together. You're going to roll through the spine, stretch it out through here, and you're going to pull the abdominals in, start to roll forward. Lift up in the chest slightly. Pull the abdominals in, reach it back. So you're still squeezing the ball, trying to lift up through the pelvic floor. If you can go into an extension, that's great. If not, no big deal. Go into just a straight plank position. Make sure that you're still engaging the core. All the way up. And then all the way back. Whew. And then you're going to roll through the spine, let your head be the last piece here. And let's do this with an externally rotated hip. So taking the ball through your ankles, knees stay wide, give it a little squeeze, lift up through the core. You're going to reach your hands forward through here. You're going to take your arms out into a T, and then pulling your hands forward. So you're trying to keep your weight stacked on top of your knees here, pulling the core in, trying to drop the shoulders. Give the ball a slight squeeze, more from your inner thighs and not just your heels. And in. Let's do 2 more. And in. 1 more. And now you're going to hinge backwards through here. As you lift up, you're going to open up your arms. So you're reaching your hips back as you reach your hands forward. Pull the core in, arms go back out to the side. So you're stretching out through here. It's almost like you can feel your tailbone kind of pulling back to your heels, but the top of your head extending out in front of you. And lift. Let's do 2 more. And lift. 1 more here. And lift. And now we're going to hinge back, reaching your hands out here. Just take them out into a T. You're going to squeeze the hands like in towards your hips, and then reach them back out. So you're squeezing them in and lift it up. So if this feels too high, like you feel like you're gripping in your shoulders, you can take it to here and just kind of actively squeeze it in. You feel a little bit of a different part of your arm working, kind of your bicep, your pecs here. You should be feeling some glutes. 2 more. 1 more. And then you're going to squeeze your hands in. Take your hands slightly behind you. Do tiny pulses up. So your palms are still facing inwards. Try not to pop the ribs out. Keep the ribs in. Abdominals stay in. Tiny pulses here. Good. Hold here. Start to bend your elbows and then press your hands back. So one thing about this movement, I really want you to feel kind of internal, like you're taking a moment to feel what's happening on the inside of your body. So as you're moving, it's almost like you're there in your eyes, but you're not really like focusing on a point. Like you're kind of like listening to what's happening in your body. You'll feel pelvic floor, abdominals. Take it slow, try not to power through. 2 more. 1 more. Take your hands back, start to round forward, reaching out of your fingertips. Open up the chest, you're still hinging here. Rounding forward. Open up your chest. So pull the core in, rounding forward. Open it up. 1 more. Rounding forward, and then taking your hands directly underneath your shoulders here. Curl your toes underneath. You're going to pull your abdominals in. Same thing here. It's abdominal lift. You're going to lift your knees up off the ground and then drop it down. So you're pulling your abdominals in, lifting up through here. Soften your elbows so you're not gripping into your joint. Drop it down. 2 more. Can you feel the glutes here too? It's glutes. It's abdominals. It's arms. Drop it down. 2 more. Lift. Drop it down. 1 more. lift, drop it down. You're going to uncurl your toes, pull your shoulders back through here. You're just going to start to reach that left arm out to the side. You're going to bend the elbow into your side, and then you're going to extend it over your head. So you're going to go bend, reach it out. So you're keeping your core in through here. Just trying to squeeze the elbow in, reach it out. 2 more, and out. 1 more. All the way out. You're going to drop the left hand in front of you. You're going to drop your fingertips here, round the abdominals all the way in, and then you're going to open up your chest, pull your shoulders back. 1 more, round it all the way up, and then come back to center. Shoulders are back. Take your right hand out to the side. You're going to take it in towards your side, bend the elbow, start to reach it out in front of your head, and then squeeze the elbow in. So you're extending it out, pull it in. Anybody excited for doing some abs on our back after all this? It's a lot of support kind of lifted up here. Good, reach it out, bend it in. Let's do 3 more, 2 more. Keep the core in. 1 more. Reach it out. You're going to drop the right hand down to the ground. Drop your fingertips. Pull the core in. Open up the chest. 1 more. Pull the abdominals in. And then pull that hand back to center. Sit back into a child's pose. Reach your hands all the way out. Allow this moment to stretch out here. Start to curl your toes underneath. Your heels are together. Toes are apart. Pressing out into your plank, you're zipping up the inner thighs. Start to bend your knees wide as you press through your arms. Squeezing the ball, lengthen out of the top of your head. Make this very active. Feel the muscles of your legs kind of pulling inwards, stretching out. Take that moment so you're kind of like the accent is up. You're like going reach, 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 push it back, and then reach, reach, lengthen. 3 more. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. 2 more. All the way out. And last one. All the way out. Start to bend your knees and sit back into a child's pose. And then roll through the spine. Your head is going to be the last little piece here. Do 2 arm circles. 1 more. And then let's lift up. Let's flip your legs around into the front. Okay, let's squeeze the ball between your ankles. Let's keep your feet and knees and everything in parallel. So you're going to be aligned with your hips here. You're giving the ball a slight squeeze, but it's coming from your inner thighs. Pelvic floor, abdominals lift, reach out through your fingertips. We're going to slowly start to roll all the way down. So this is kind of that moment that if you're pregnant, it'll be a little bit more challenging to do this move. So maybe go about halfway. You can also use your arms as a modification to lift. Scoop and roll all the way down. If you're newly pregnant, these should be okay, but if you're kind of past your, I guess, mid-second trimester, I would say this starts getting a little challenging. Reach it all the way up. Pull the abdominals in. Let's slowly start to lift. Connect with your inner thighs. So think the ball is allowing your legs to feel like they're kind of one piece here. So with that, it'll turn off your hip flexors a little bit. It'll make the pull less on each leg. 1 more. Good. And let's lift all the way back up. And then you're going to scoop and roll about halfway down here. Pull the core in. So you're scooping from the core but opening up the chest slightly. You're going to do tiny lift and lower. Tiny lift and lower. If you're feeling your lower back hurting right here, lift up just a little bit higher and just make it a little bit smaller, or you can go all the way down onto the floor, take a moment and get right back into it. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. And then you're going to hold here. You're going to start to bend that left elbow into your side, reach it all the way out. You can turn your palms facing down first. So right elbow in, extending it out. So you're going here, keep the abdominals in. So it's almost the same type of feeling as if we're doing, we're on all fours and you're feeling like one side of your body, like, whoa, when you do some of that isolated work. It's kind of the same idea here, squeezing through the inner thighs.
And then one more. And then we're going to roll down, rolling through the spine. So use these roll downs as your recovery to stretch out of your spine. Pop any little lactic acid that needs to be popped. Allow some sort of mobility to happen in your spine again, and then you're going to scoop and roll. Hold this position, take your left arm, you're going to go up and over. You're going to twist, come back to center. So it's rotation from your belly button up. Your lower half stays exactly where it is. You're opening it up, pulling the core in. Going a nice twist, and back, up and over, getting pretty warm. And back, pulling the core in, squeezing the inner thighs. And back, one more each side, up and over. So try to find your widest, like your longest rainbow here. One more. Back to center, squeezing the ball again, scoop and roll all the way down, peeling through the spine, take your hands up over your head. Let's lift all the way up, pulling in the abdominals. If you can see too, I'm also giving myself a lot of space between my ankles and my hips. Try not to go too tight here. Dropping the shoulders. You're going to start to bend both elbows in, reach it out. So they're kind of like pulling into your side here. Reach it out. If this feels a little bit too challenging, you can go here, you can drop it down and lift. Okay, so there's two different versions. This just adds a little bit more of the abdominal, engagement here. Two more. I can hear my husband doing my class in the other room. You can hear my voice. Hi. One more. Reach it all the way out, scoop and roll all the way down, peeling through the spine. Taking your hands up over your head, pull the chin in, slowly starting to lift all the way back up. And then scoop and roll down, we're almost done here. Shoulders dropped, you're going to take your left arm up, you're going to circle it around without twisting the upper body. You're going to take your right arm up, circle it around. Left arm up, circle it around, let's do right arm. Keeping the core in, circling through here, how our abdominals feeling. If at any point, reminder, if your lower back starts to hurt, tuck your tailbone just very slightly or give yourself a moment, okay? Up and over. One more each side. Squeezing the ball, my inner thighs are burning too. One more. All the way forward, scoop and roll, all the way down. Start to draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug, rock side to side. And then you're going to take your knees up to tabletop. Scoot here a little bit. Knees up to tabletop. Your hands are going to reach up to the ceiling. So you're going to ground your tailbone in neutral here. Immediately, even holding your legs here should be a little bit of an abdominal work. Reaching your hands all the way up. I'll twist this way. You're going to take your arms out to the side into a T. You're going to lift them up to the ceiling, and then you're going to curl up looking towards your abdominals. And then back down. So you're going to open it out, lift it up, and think the curl presses your arms down. So your arms aren't necessarily pressing down by themselves. It's the curl in the upper body. So you're going to open, lift, curl it up. And down. Open, lift, curl through here. So if you can notice, my lower half isn't moving at all. I'm trying not to arch my spine. Trying to keep the abdominals in. One more. And then curl. You're going to hold here. Start to do tiny pulses on the arms. So now my upper body is curled. If you're having any neck strain here, drop it all the way down, lengthen out through here. Just trying to do tiny, tiny pulses. Okay, there's no reason to curl up if your neck is hurting. So curl up through here, keeping the abdominals in. You're going to start to dip your legs down. Lift your legs right back up. So you're keeping the shape of your legs. You're just hinging at the hips and then pulling it back. Tiny, tiny. And lift. Let's do two more. And lift. One more. And lift. Bend your knees in. You can rock your hips side to side. We're going to rotate your hips outwards. We're going to externally rotate here. The ball still stays between your ankles, so make sure that you're still squeezing. Immediately you'll feel inner thighs here too. You're going to hold this tabletop position in a neutral pelvis. Reach your hands up to the ceiling. Already it's challenging. You'd be like, okay, I'm feeling this, feeling abdominals. Arms up, start to bend your elbows down to the floor. Press your hands up. So it's almost as if we're doing a reverse push-up, like that's how much your abdominals should be working. And you're also creating your own resistance with your arms as you press it up. So you should try to feel triceps as you press it up through here. So right here, and lift. Bend it down, and lift. Let's do 2 more. And lift. 1 more. Lift it up. Now you're going to bend the elbows down through here. Rotate your hands above your head so you're opening up your chest, pulling it back in. It's a really nice nerve stretch here in your biceps. Open it up. Try to keep the lower half stable. Try, if you can, to connect more inner thighs, glutes, abdominals. Try to turn off the hip flexors. 2 more. And then back. 1 more. And then back, reach your hands up through here. You're gonna pull your fingertips together here. You're gonna curl up looking towards your abdominals through here. Ground the tailbone down, just start to reach your hands up, drop it down. So just very tiny movements here. Keeping the core in. Let's do 2 more. Also, like I said, if you need to drop your head down, go for it. We're gonna take your hands up, you're gonna dip your legs down slightly, pull it in. Dip it down, pull the abdominals in. Let's do 3 more. 2 more. Woo. Inner thighs, abdominals. And 1 more. Oh, pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug, and rock your hips side to side. Wow, okay. That one got me. I wasn't expecting all of that. Okay, let's take the ball behind your left knee. Give it a nice squeeze here. If you don't have a prop here, you're going to try to just keep this shape. So try to hold this shape. Take your hands behind your head. You're going to curl up looking towards your abdominals. Neutral pelvis, which is a very tiny little airspace here. Unless you have lower back issues, remember, press your core down into a tuck. Okay, you're taking the other leg into tabletop here. You're going to start to reach your right leg all the way out. Extend through the core. Bend the knee in as you dip the left leg down. So you're extending it out. And then bend. And then now is your chance to give your neck a break here. You're pressing your head into your arms. If you can notice, I'm not doing like a full curl here. I'm just kind of like doing a very slight curl, trying to maintain more of the neutral pelvis here with a slight lift in the upper body. And then out. Let's do 2 more. 1 more. We're going to start to twist over to the left leg as the left knee comes in. Slight rotation. I want you to feel like your gaze is backwards there, and then back. So you're twisting, you're going rotate, rotate, and back. So you're twisting, and back. Rotate, and back. And let's do 3 more. Whew, this is a killer ab workout for Saturday. This is like rest day, kind of not. Okay, 2 more. Twist, and back. 1 more. Twist, and back. And now you're going to drop this left foot down to the floor, open up your chest here, and then you're going to do a little mini curl up again. So you're still squeezing the ball, but this foot is grounded. You're going to extend that right leg up. You're going to drop it down to the floor, bend the knee, and reach it up. So finding a nice long stretch out of that leg, still engaging here. Let's do 2 more. Check in with your neutral spine, try not to arch. 1 more. And you're going to lift it up, we're going to reverse, stretch it out, and lift. So your range of motion will be until your hip wants to disconnect, or connect with your leg. So if your hip starts to want to curl up as your leg lifts, don't lift your leg as high. Okay, so we want to make sure that you're still keeping a neutral pelvis. Take this right leg up. You're going to externally rotate, start to do very tiny circles. So you're going to circle it down to the right and lift. You're going to circle and lift, keeping the core in here. And let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Still keeping the upper body lifted. Let's reverse, drop it down, circle it around. How are we feeling? Drop it down and lift. Let's do 1 more. lift. You're gonna drop that foot down to the floor. Now both heels are gonna match up. Lay all the way down and take your arms out into a T. So now you're pressing your arms down to the floor. We're gonna slowly start to tuck and lift all the way up. So you're gonna lift up to here. You see how you can't always go all the way up unless you kind of like move your heels all the way in. So make sure that your heels are kind of tucked in tightly to your body. Scoop and roll all the way down. Tap the hips. Let's lift up again. Start to tuck and lift all the way up. Hold it up at the top. And then scoop and roll all the way down. And let's do one more. You're going to tuck and lift all the way up. You're going to hold, put your weight into your right heel. You're going to start to hover your left knee up. And then you're going to drop it down. And you're going to lift your right knee up. And then drop it down. Try to take this a lot of core. Take your left knee up. Drop it down. You're still squeezing the ball. Right knee up. Drop it down. You're going to lift your left knee up here. Weight is in your right heel. You're just going to tap, lift, tap, lift. You can really use your arms to help you here, keeping the core in. Let's do two more. One more. And then drop the foot down. Slowly roll through the spine. Take the ball out from behind there. Pull the knees in. Let's rock side to side. How are you feeling? Gave you a new series on that one. Let's switch over to the other side. Let's take the ball behind your right knee. Give it a squeeze. Hands come back behind your head. You're curling up here. Find your neutral pelvis again. Take your left knee up into tabletop. We're going to extend that leg out. Bend the knee in as you tap the right leg. And switch. So we're going to tap and switch. Lengthen out of your shoulders, out of your chest. Keep the abdominals in. Try to relax your neck and stretch. And really nice. Keeping the core in here. Two more. And out. One more. And now we're going to add a twist over to the right. So you're tapping, you're doing a rotation to the right. Remember, you're trying to look, keep your gaze almost behind your body, but keeping both hips down. Twisting from the abdominals. And twist. And let's do three more. Two more. And one more. Good. Let's drop this right foot down. Lower your body for a second. We're going to get right back into it. So you're curling up. You're keeping this leg into tabletop. Extend that left leg up. You're going to drop it down to the floor. Bend the knee in. Reach it up. So you're stretching it out. Keeping the core, and you're trying to still elongate out through the core in two different directions. You're trying to like pull this way, like a reach, reach, reach. And up. One more. Now we're going to reverse. Stretch it out. Lift. Stretch it out. And lift. Let's do two more. And one more. And now you're going to externally rotate slightly so your heel is inwards. You're doing tiny circles. Keeping the core in. How are we feeling? Are we still hanging in there? Keep this tiny lift. At any point you can drop your head down and give yourself a little bit of a break. Two more. Not that it gives your abdominals a break, it gives your neck a break here. And lift. Let's reverse. But try to press your head into your arms. Two more. And one more. And then drop that foot down. Open up your arms. You can press your arms down to the floor here. You're walking your heels in close to your body. You're going to start to tuck and lift up. So you're lifting your hips up nice and high. Walk your heels in a little bit closer here. Lifting up, pulling the abdominals, and then slowly start to articulate the spine all the way down. And let's lift up again. So really peeling through the spine. Allow your spine to kind of add some mobility and stretch out a little bit here. So we did a lot of stabilizing work. So really peeling through, lifting it in and up. Pulling the abdominals in here, dropping the shoulders and pressing your arms down. You're going to go right leg up, drop it down. Left leg up, drop it down. I forgot to mention on the other side, but if you're pregnant, you can drop your hips all the way down and still do these marching moves. rather than keeping your hips up high. And let's go over to the right. You're going to hold it here. Drop the foot down. Your weight is in your left heel. You're just dropping and lifting. Drop and lift. And let's do 3 more. 2 more. Are we doing 1 more? Lift it up, dropping the foot down, lifting up in the hips, and then scoop and roll all the way down. Taking the ball out from behind there, squeeze it between your knees. You're going to hang on underneath your knees. We're going to start to rock up. We're going to do some rolling like a ball, lifting up. I was laying twisted on my mat. Okay, lift up through here, pulling the abdominals in. You're going to scoop and roll back, and let's lift up and hold. So you're trying to work through every little vertebrae here, and your abdominals are staying in. Round it back, lift it up, and let's do 3 more. And lift, 2 more, and lift, 1 more. And lift it up, and you're gonna hold, and then you're gonna slowly start to open your knees up into a butterfly. Whew, all right. That felt nice. I think we should do some legs, some side legs. Okay. Let's lay all the way flat. I'm gonna lay onto my left side. I'm gonna take the ball underneath my left foot. So I'm gonna go all the way down flat. So if you can prop this leg up slightly, that would be really great. If you don't have anything, you can leave it down onto the floor, but just try not to like really press down. You wanna add a little bit of a lift in the bottom leg. So you're stretching through your legs here, pulling in your abdominals so they're up off the ground. And you're gonna start to hover this top leg up. You're gonna point it up, and then you're gonna flex the foot and squeeze it down. So your head is relaxing. You're gonna point the toe up, flex it down. And then you're gonna remind yourself that this is not just a leg exercise. It's really a lot of abdominal here, trying to hover, whoop, and hold. Point it up, flex and drop it down. So you're pointing it up, flexing it down. Let's do 2 more here. And 1 more. Drop it down, and now you're gonna reverse. So you're gonna flex it up, point it down. Flex it up through here and point it down. So you're trying to keep your hip in neutral and also keep it parallel, so try not to open up that hip too much like this. Oh, and down. Let's do 3 more here. 2 more. And down. 1 more. And then you're going to point the toe up. You're going to hold it here. So you're going to find a position. Now when you're holding here, lengthen out of your core. If you can see, I went from here to kind of there, pulling in the core. Tiny circles. Very tiny circles here. So keeping the abdominals kind of pulled up off the floor. You're going to keep them engaged. Let's do 2 more. And then reverse the opposite way, tiny circles. Really tiny, keeping the abdominals in. I forgot to mention this too, but if you have any sort of like pressure in your hips or in your tailbone, if you have like too thin of a mat, you can put a towel underneath or your knees, just for future reference. 1 more. And then you're going to cross that foot in front, pull the knee in, get a little stretch into your glute first. You're going to stretch this hip backwards. And then you're going to walk your right foot closer to your left knee. You're going to prop yourself up onto your elbow here. So my foot is still on top of the ball. I'm finding this position from here. I'm going to extend my right arm up, and you're staying lifted up off the core. It's mostly about this lift than anything. Open it up through here. I'm going to dip my hips down as I take this right arm up over my head, and I'm going to lift up here and tap. Dip it down, up and over. So you're stretching through the arm, lifting up and tap. Trying to stay lifted up off that left shoulder. So it's like 2 different lengths, like your whole right side stretching out as you dip down, tap, and lift. Let's do 1 more. If your neck starts to hurt at all, this is your position here. Dip it down, just start to stretch out of the neck. 1 more. And lift, and now you're going to hold that right arm up to the ceiling. You're going to fold it underneath. We're going to twist down to the floor, and then you're going to open up your chest up to the ceiling if you can. You're going to open up here. So if you can notice, my hips are trying not to rotate with me. It's just movement from the belly button up. So you're opening up here. And let's do 2 more. And all the way up. One more. Ooh. All the way up. Oh, amazing. Drop your hips down. That one feels so, so good. Let's have you lay onto your back. You're going to cross the right leg over the left leg. Let's do a figure 4 for a second. Cross your right leg over your left. Pull the knees in. You're going to press your tailbone down, so you're going to elongate out of the tailbone, make it an active stretch. Mentally prepare yourself for the other side. We're going right over to the other side. And then drop it down. Let's lift up through here. Grab onto your ball. We're going to flip over to the right side. Take your right foot on top of the ball. So one thing to note about the toes, I don't ever want you to grip through the toes, okay? So if you don't see me doing like a full point, it's because I don't want you to end that point there. Think of like elongating out of your toes, so there's not like an end point of your leg. Okay, quick note. All the way down. Stretching out to that right leg, squeezing your heels together, pulling the core up off the ground. This top arm is just kind of lightly being here for support, but it shouldn't be doing too much. So now you're going to point the toe up, flex the foot, and drop it down. So keeping the core, and let's point it up, flex it down. Point it up, and flex. All right, drop it down. Just really nice and peaceful being in this position here. Remind yourself that your abdominals are still lifting, so on both sides, those corset muscles are engaging and helping you in the move. One more. And now flex the foot up, point the toe down, flex it up, point it down. I'm not taking any water breaks here, but like if you ever need a water break also, I hope that goes without being said. Take a moment. And all the way up. 2 more. And 1 more. And then you're going to hold that leg up, and then I want you to lengthen even further out of your core. Start to do tiny, tiny circles. And then when you're doing the circles, check in and be like, oh, what is driving my circle? It should come from your hip, your glute, not your foot or your knee. It should come from your core. All right, let's do 2 more. 1 more, and let's reverse. Tiny circles. Keep the abdominals in. Amazing. Still lengthen out of that bottom leg. 2 more. And last one. Awesome. Pull this left knee into your chest. You can give it a little tug. Stretch out through your hip. I hope you can still kind of see me. And then take this left foot closer to your right knee. You're going to prop up on your elbow here. So you're going to find length happening in that right side. You're going to hover yourself up. So you're lifted up through here. Reach this left arm up. So if you can see, my weight is in this heel. I'm lifting up through my core. I'm going to dip my hips down as I take this arm up and over my head, and then lift it up. So I'm not sinking into my right shoulder. It's almost like I'm kind of folding at the waist, like I'm kind of like dipping, but still elongating down and tap, and then up, tap, and lift. And let's do 3 more, and lift, 2 more, and lift. Awesome, 1 more. And then lift, and now we're going to fold it underneath your left arm, twist down to the floor. You're going to twist. If you can, open up the chest slightly up to the ceiling, rotate it down. Your hips are staying stacked up on top of each other. Open it up. Let's do 2 more. Open it up. 1 more. Open it all the way up. Oh, nice. Drop it down. Drop your hips down. We're going to lay onto your back. Take a figure 4 on the left side. Pull your knees into your chest. Stretch out of your tailbone. Get a nice little stretch through here. All right, and we're going to go up onto your knees. We're going to take the ball into your right hand. If you don't have a prop, you can drop this down to the ground here. We're going to do some sort of work, kind of side leg work here. Eventually I want everybody to get the ball so we can start to do some of the sliding work, okay? But for now, we're going to keep the ball here as like a little bit of an imbalance. Extend this top arm up. You know what, let's do the other side since we just did that arm. Keep it a little bit more even on both sides. So you're going to go here, reach this top arm up. You're going to press down into the ball and lift up through the core. You're going to start to hover this top leg up. Okay, so this left elbow is soft. You're going to tap the toe down and then lift. You're just tapping and lifting. So pulling in the abdominals here. Tiny, tiny taps and lift. So really reaching out of this top arm. We're going to do 2 more. 1 more, you're going to lift it up and hold, and then you're going to bend this left arm very slightly and then pushing it up. So you're leading with the core here to lift. Ooh, got the shakes. And lift. So it's almost like less arm. It's supposedly trying to be more abdominal. Today mine's feeling a little bit more arm, but you're going to try to equalize the arm and the abdominal here. 1 more. And lift. And you can drop this right leg. Reach your hands in front of you. You're going to take the ball into your left hand. Your right hand's going to go in line with your shoulder here. Really elongating out through this right leg. Pulling the core in. Shoulders are back here. And you're going to start to bend your elbows so your chest goes down. And then push it up. So you're bending it down. Pushing it up. Bend it down. I'm interested to see if anybody finds this session extra hard. So I'm finding it pretty difficult today. And lift. And let's do 3 more. And lift. 2 more. And lift. And then 1 more. And then sit back here. You can reach that left arm out. You're going to sit back over your heels, stretch out through that right side, reaching your hands all the way out. And then let's lift up through here. You can take the ball into the right arm. You can roll it down your leg. Get a nice stretch out to the side. And let's lift up. Let's go over to the other side. So you're going to bend this knee in. Extend through the left leg. Take the ball into the right hand. Shift your weight slightly here. So technically, if you're here, it should be almost like equal. Like you're not putting like full weight. Try to kind of hover up as much as you can. Open up this left arm. Hover this leg up here. You're going to tap it down and lift. Tap and lift. So you're keeping your core in and up and lift. Every day is going to feel different too, so keep connected, keep listening, and lift. Let's do 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more. You're going to lift up here and hold. You're going to bend the elbow, pushing up with the core. So this side to me feels so much more core than the other side. Bend it down. You're thinking this transverse muscle is wrapping. It's like that corset muscle lifting you up to the ceiling. Bend and lift. You're going to try not to drop the leg, but it's okay if it drops just a tiny bit. And then 1 more. And lift. Drop that left foot down. Take your hands in front of you. The ball stays in the right hand. Left hand is underneath your shoulder. You're going to try to shift forward so that your hips aren't too far over your knees. Like you're kind of pulling your weight forward, almost like we're on all fours. You're going to bend your elbows, dip it down, and then push it up. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can kind of see what I'm talking about there. So we're not back here. We're here. We're up and forward. Bending it down, pressing it up. Bend and lift. And let's do 3 more. Lift. 2 more. Woo. 1 more, core in, back stage 3. And then sit it back, reach out through your right arm, reach out through your left arm, stretch it all the way out. And then let's lift up here, take the ball over onto the left side. You're going to bend over to the side, get a nice stretch. And then we're going to lift it up. Let's lay down on our backs really quickly. Lift your hips up. Take the ball underneath your tailbone. Stretch out with your left leg. Take your right knee in. Give it a little tug here. And then let's switch legs. Take your right leg out. Take your left knee in. Stretch out of that hip flexor. You can also do this on the floor if you have no ball. Drop it down. You're going to grab your hands, wrap around here. Take your legs up to the ceiling. Do a little wiggle. Toes are up, your toes are apart, heels are together. You're going to open your legs out to the side. Flex your feet, squeeze it in. Just release some of the tension in your legs. Get some circulation going. I'm going to scoot over. Point the toes out. Flex and squeeze. One more. Flex and squeeze. Let's reverse. You're going to flex it out. Point the toe. Flex. And lift. One more. And lift. And let's drop your feet one foot at a time. Lift up off the ball. We're going to flip over. Go into a downward dog. You ditch the prop. Start to pedal through your feet. Drop your right heel down. Take your left knee into your chest. Let's open it all the way up. Drop it down. Let's take your right knee in. Open it up. Drop it down. Walk your feet in towards your hands. Grab onto your elbows. Let your head dangle down. Soften the knees. You're going to nod your head. Shake your head. Release the arms down to the floor, and you're going to slowly peel the abdominals in one vertebrae at a time. Let's roll your shoulders back. And we're all done. It's amazing. Thank you all for joining me. I think I have somebody that wanted to join. I'm going to see if he made it here. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Hello. Anyway, I love everybody. I think he's probably going to come on any minute if you're there from my house waiting. While we're waiting, though, I do have a link to any donations. If you can donate to Fuel the Fight, they're doing amazing, amazing, amazing work. I have some really great friends in the healthcare field also that I know are working tirelessly. I'm trying to link him in, but he's coming in here. Do you want to say anything? Husband alert.
Thank you for that class. Yeah. My daily reminder that you're physically stronger than I am. If everyone can go to Fuel the Fight NYC and donate any kind of money to help our healthcare workers who are risking their lives while saving other lives. And also, I'm out of breath.
I know, it's like you're breathing so
and also our local restaurants who need help so badly right now.
Yeah.
We would so appreciate $1.
Yeah, anything
Or
really, really helps. We really, really, really appreciate it. And thank you so much, Fuel the Fight, for everything you are doing. It means so much to us to be able to know that, you know, our healthcare workers have people looking out for them too. All my love, Lena, Muriel, Oren, all of the people that are out there. We love you so much. That's it. And we'll be back tomorrow for another class at 10 a.m. So let me know if anybody has any questions. Oh gosh! Nice. Love you all. Thank you. Bye.